So there's been a lot of news coming out of Georgia's Department of Corrections. This news clip right here is very in-depth and explains some serious violent stuff that's been going on, including hits on correctional officers and all types of stuff. It all goes along with Operation Skyhawk, and something is seriously wrong in Georgia if they cannot control what's going on there. I mean, it's just really out of control.
New at 6, allegations that an in-prison gang sold drugs, cell phones, even luxury clothing inside of a Georgia prison. The indictment also spells out how the gang tried to have a guard killed, but sent the hitman to the wrong address. It involves inmates at Smith State Prison.
You all keep in mind, this is the same prison where a guy killed a kitchen supervisor he was in a relationship with a firearm.
And Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark Winnie got the indictment today. Mark with us live at GBI headquarters in DeKalb County.
You know, the indictment describes a contraband crisis.
A contraband crisis indeed. This is the state that just had Operation Skyhawk, where they intercepted 150 drone deliveries and arrested about 170 people, including a drone shop repairman.
It says the Georgia Department of Corrections has a criminal investigative division that aggressively works to identify and criminally charge corrupt staff. But it says because many inmates currently smuggling contraband encourage their co-conspirators on the outside of the prison system to apply for GDC jobs, CID is in a cycle of whack-a-mole.
Whack-a-mole. Do you understand what they're saying? They're in the process of going through all their employees and weeding out the dirty ones. Georgia inmates in Smith State Prison are having their family members and friends get jobs at this prison. And then once they're in there working, can you imagine even if 30 inmates had people they know come get jobs inside that prison, the type of operation they've got? This is like something really, really huge.
Investigations of GDC staff. Now the GBI is on the case. Their director says GBI agents discovered 88-year-old Bobby Kicklighter was murdered when the killer went to the wrong house. That an officer working at a place that houses wrongdoers, Smith State Prison, who lived next door to Kicklighter, was the intended target.
That was actually a hit ordered on a correction officer who was a straight-up righteous guard who couldn't be bought, couldn't be intimidated, couldn't be threatened, and the hit went wrong. But
GBI Director Vic Reynolds says GBI agents discovered much more involving the prison, including 2 more allegedly related murders, leading to a sweeping murder and racketeering indictment brought with the help of Georgia's Prosecuting Attorney's Council, set against a backdrop of corruption and contraband at Smith State Prison, including illegal cell phones, drugs, and more.
Cell phones, drugs, clothing, money, virtually anything you wanted, you could get.
The April 25th indictment accuses Nathan Weeks, Christopher Reginald Sumlin Jr., Keisha Janae Jones, and Ariel Deshae Murphy of malice murder in Kicklighter's death. And Weeks, Sumlin, and Ms. Jones are charged with conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act. The indictment suggests to facilitate the flow of contraband inside the prison. Inmates offer guards financial incentives, and many times corrupt guards are paid in cash. But when financial incentives don't work, inmates and co-conspirators use violence and threats. It says Weeks was committed to the Georgia Department of Corrections for a series of armed robberies in DeKalb County, and at Smith he began to organize the smuggling of large amounts of contraband. Ms. Jones is described as a girlfriend of Weeks and his treasurer and facilitator outside the prison. The indictment indicates Sumlin was committed to GDC for burglary and gun charges in connection with crimes in Coweta County, housed for a time at Smith, but out at the time of the crimes alleged in the indictment. It alleges last year Weeks and Jones sent Sumlin to murder a corrections officer, and they shot and killed Bobby Kicklighter. The indictment suggests one act of racketeering involving Weeks and Sumlin was malice murder in connection with the death of Jerry Lee Davis, and that Weeks, Jones, and others committed malice murder in connection with the death of Jessica Gerling. The indictment says Ms. Gerling was employed at Smith as a corrections officer until GDC terminated her for bringing in contraband at the direction of Weeks. Tattnall County Sheriff Kyle Sapp said he requested the GBI's help on the Kicklighter killing, and his office has assisted the GBI agents.